Created here is the Food Producer News Network, and what this is a connected group of websites that's really created to highlight the expertise at Thermo Fisher and all of the ISOs which a lot of you represent. So what we're trying to do, and if you haven't, I would encourage you to check out foodproducernews.com. There's lots of good information on it, both related to news and current events, as well as product information and some other pieces. So what we'll be doing is sort of just giving you a first introduction to this today. And what we're looking for is some people who want to actually work one-on-one to really start blogging, start getting information in there, and we'll help this sort of select few group of ISOs to start working within the system and sort of demonstrating their expertise. So what we'll cover today is obviously welcome. We're there now. Everybody welcome. Thanks for taking the time out of your day. Then we'll get into the benefits, and then we'll jump right into sort of showing you how it works, so you get a feel for A, how easy it is to use, and then B, in the benefits we'll cover sort of why this is going to be beneficial to you and what we're hoping to accomplish by pulling everyone together through this network. So first and foremost, what we're really trying to do is show the expertise that people have, and I think that's core to understanding how the web works and how people are connected. And so we're really looking to you to provide insights and content into what customers are looking at, what are some of the trends happening in the industry, and any other information that you deal with either often because customers ask those questions, or areas where you see processes that could be improved and so forth. So I mean, the goal really here is not to be a blatant marketing site. Now, we'll get marketing and sales effects from that, but the real goal is to be established as an expert online. The way that we're doing that is every rep or ISO is going to have their own microsite. And what that does is give us a local point of entry for your customers, and because it's tied to the network, it'll also help search and social rankings as well. So you'll have control over your own site. When you post to that, not only will that information be located on your site, but it'll also syndicate back to the main Food Producer News site. So we're kind of creating this cyclical process of bringing people in at different points and feeding them through the network. And from an internet marketing standpoint, that piece is critical. For many, many years, probably since the dawn of the internet, people have tried to create link exchanges back and forth, because ultimately that does two things. It shares customers across two sites with similar interests, but the way the search engines work, it also improves the rankings of all those sites that are interconnected. So that's why we've taken the approach that we have. At the end of the day, the main thing we're trying to do is really generate leads. So getting people to the sites, seeing traffic increase, and then as a result, seeing leads become part of it. And this is that sort of fine line between proving yourself as an expert and being a marketer. We don't want to just hit people with buy now, free consultation, those sort of things. We want to prove our expertise, and we want to give them a way to get in touch with us. So that will be a part that each of you will have the responsibility of on your own site. We'll teach you how to create contact forms, potentially quote forms, and even just question and answer, ask the expert type thing. So when we work with you individually, or if you don't become one of the select few, as a group, we'll help you understand how you can generate more leads using your site. Now, I alluded to this a little bit already, but the power of the network is what's really important here. So every time something's posted to the main Food Producer News site, that syndicates out to all the microsites, and the same is true as you post things to your microsite. That information will be posted back to the main site as well. Now, there won't be any cross-posting, so you don't have to worry about your competitors' information or other ISOs' information showing up on your site. But when you do this, you'll always have your information showing up in two places, which creates that link that I referred to earlier. And then outside of obviously search, when the acronym SERPs stands for Search Engine Result Pages. So that's one of the key benefits of this network. But there's also local and mobile that comes from this too, which is has always been sort of the challenge of the internet, is how do you have a global audience, but then how do you also address local needs or address the people that are in your market that you could service. And it really does give us the ability with each of these microsites to have local sites to come up in local search. And as mobile becomes a more common way that people are accessing the web, it's growing at hundreds of % per year as far as the percentage of people that are using mobile to access the web. This will help us to target some of those local search results as well. So getting down into kind of the logistics of how it works. There's that main website, which is foodproducernews.com. Every microsite will by default exist at a subdomain. So it is yourcompany.foodproducernews.com. If you choose to point a domain name to this that you own, so maybe you own Oklahoma Food Producers or something like that, you can tie that to your microsite as well, which is actually a benefit both to you and your microsite and to the main site, because now we get even more juice from connecting the two websites because they're at totally different domains. Or if you want to by default just use that subdomain, that will give us the same or similar benefits, just at a lower impact. And so foodproducernews.com will sit in the middle. It will aggregate all of the news across the sites of the network. So the important part here is this really is pay to play. If you want to be successful with this, if you want to get traffic, you're going to do that by creating posts on your microsite. So the more you post to your microsite, the more presence you have on the main site, which will have the most traffic. In reverse, when sorry, let me, I'm getting ahead of myself. So you'll see here on the main Food Producer News site, we've got feature articles, expert corner, terminology, different offers and news that are being that have been published. A lot of this information will show up on your microsite. So even if people are accessing Food Producer News through you because they're your clients, your prospects, or anyone else, you don't have to update every piece of information. A lot of that information is going to be syndicated to you. The reverse of this is at the microsite level. When something new gets posted to foodproducernews.com, it gets syndicated to your microsite. So again, if new product information is available, if there's a new news post, that will show up on your site. So that in essence improves the rankings of the main site. So it really is a very collaborative and community effort. So here we just see a little screen cap of one of the microsites. You'll see here we've just got some basic information, and then we've got latest news that's syndicating in. You'll see this better when we show the live demo piece of it, but hopefully that's making sense to you. There's a lot of moving parts, and it can sound intimidating, but when you get in there and start doing it and posting information, everything goes where it's supposed to go. So the main focus that you have is just creating compelling content and showing your expertise. And then our job with the way the network works is to get people to you, to that content. And the same is true of the main site itself. So it really is, they're really working in conjunction with each other. As you get in here, and again, we'll see this more in the demo, but just to kind of set up what's going to happen in the demo, there are different parts of the site that are editable and others that are not. So those pieces that are already built into there that give you access to information coming from the main site, those will be locked in, so you'll always get that information and you don't have to produce it yourself. But there are different pieces of every site and even every page within the site that you can edit yourself. And you can build this to be a fully functional website, blog, whatever you want to call it or however you want to use it. So you can build your own structure as well if you want to build in other products that you have a review or an endorsement of. If there are other applications or you want to form the site outside of the structure that we give you out of the gate, you can do that as well. So this is a fully functional website, and it doesn't necessarily replace your existing site. It can if that's what you want it to do. But what it can do is also, just like the links between the main site and the microsite, increase the search rankings. The same is true if you're linking back to content that's on your existing site. So think of this not as necessarily a replacement, but almost like the way social media gives you another place to reach people and then direct them back to your website. This is another component of that. And so with that said, I will turn it over to Paul for the live demonstration.
First of all, I wanted to show you the actual parent site of Food Producer News, and then I can demonstrate what Alex was talking about in terms of what information is going to end up showing up on your microsite. So I'd like to just talk about the featured articles, and you'll see there's a bunch of articles with links here that show up. First one being the blue chip contaminant, or blue plastic chip contaminant. And if I go over to, say, Bohr & Associates microsite, you'll notice that while it's not in the same location, it is still the same information that's syndicating out. So everybody at Bohr & Associates doesn't have to do anything in order for that to happen. That's an automatic feature we've built in. I did want to show you how easy it is to sign in. I think you've all gotten your sign-in, login information. In that case, you're going to go to my.foodproducernews.com. And it's just as easy as entering your username and password that we've sent you. You click sign in, it brings you to a dashboard. Just click on your local website, which is Bohr & Associates. That's going to open up what's called our website manager. And from here, you can get anywhere you need to in the system with one click. And I'm going to encourage you to, once you do log in, just click around in here and look at these drop downs and see what different things do. You really can't break it. And if you do run into something, you just come down to the support button and you click that, and it takes you over here to send us a note that you need some help. So let me show you how easy it is to do an edit. You're going to click on one of these links here, and it's going to open up that page to do some editing. This is called the Page Manager. And on the Page Manager, you're going to notice there are these blue bars. The blue bars indicate there's an element there that you can edit from your microsite. You'll notice that other areas don't have a blue bar. And this is a blank area, but this is where that featured information showed up when I showed you on the front end. You notice you can't edit that, so you don't have to worry about it. It's done. Let's say that we wanted to add something to this particular element. All you need to do is click Edit, and that opens up what we call the Content Editor. And you'll notice it looks a lot like a word processor. You can just type in. And when I'm done with what I wanted to add to this, all I need to do is click Publish the Page, and I'm done. It's that simple. You can add images, you can include video, you can include podcasts if you cared to. All of that we're going to cover in future webinars. But you'll notice now when I go to the live page, that edit I made is going to display for the world to see. Really simple. And you can, and I notice I have an edit here I need to go do, so I'm going to go back and do that and fix it. So that's as simple as it is to make some edits to your site, and we're going to have future webinars to give you the details on how to really get into it and add pages, etc. But I encourage you, once you do get your information located, log in and play around with your site. That's the best thing. Experience is the best teacher with this sort of thing.